Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my preview of the Ottawa REDBLACKS. What's a Red Black? I'll tell you what a Red Black is. A Red Black is the 2015 Eastern Division champion, and they will be playing in the Grey Cup this Sunday. Led by Henry Burris, the Eastern nominee for Most Outstanding Player, and the guy that proves that 40 is the new 20, and coached by Rick Campbell, who's showing that it's in the genes, and you know what? He could very well be winning a Grey Cup in his second season. The Ottawa REDBLACKS are a very exciting team. Coming into this season, of course, it's been well documented. They won 2 games last year, and you thought to yourself, okay, well, what can the Ottawa REDBLACKS do this year? Surprise everybody. That's what they can do. From their opening game, winning against BC at home, to upsetting the reigning, defending Grey Cup champion Calgary Stampeders, to just going on and having probably the best offense in the CFL. How do they have the best offense in the CFL? Henry Burris has weapons. He has, of his 5 go-to receivers, 4 of them caught for over 1,000 yards. Okay, so they've got a good offense. Let's talk about their defense. Edmonton might have the top defense in the league. Any guesses on who's got the second best? The REDBLACKS. A big reason why they've got that fantastic defense is they consistently make big plays. I lost count on how many interceptions they had in the end zone. You want to talk about takeaway? Not only taking away the ball, but taking away a sure 6 points. They've got 2 of the top leaders in interceptions in the CFL. And don't get me started on quarterback sacks. You want to talk about sacks? Let's talk about that front 7. I believe Ottawa matches up extremely well against Edmonton from a statistics point of view in so many different ways. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Edmonton's the favorite. And yes, they are, and they're the favorite for 2 reasons. Number one, their dominant performance against Calgary in the Western Final, but also the fact that they won 2 more games than Ottawa did. So let's break down the 6 losses that Ottawa had this year. 3 of them were against Toronto. I'm not going to make excuses, but if you saw those games, you know that Ottawa should have won at least 2 of them. Next, we're going to take a look at the fact that they split the series with Calgary. So right there, we're already at their we're already at the 3 losses with Toronto, and then the loss with Calgary. So that's 4 losses. They lost both of their games against the Edmonton Eskimos this year, which you might think that might give you pause and might make you think, oh, they're in trouble. And if you're a casual observer, I can understand that. But what you need to understand is the 2 losses they had against the Edmonton Eskimos were in July. The season started at the beginning of July. So it's basically the season had just begun and Ottawa had those 2 back-to-back losses. Ottawa didn't have a true identity at that time, and they were still building who they are today. Because they've lost games, but they haven't lost to the tune that they did against Edmonton back in July. They've gotten a lot better. I'd be very interested to see, well, what would have happened. Well, we're going to see what happens at this Sunday at the Grey Cup. So why is Edmonton this big favorite? Well, again, like I said, it's very difficult to find chinks in Edmonton's armor. They're a very good team from top to bottom. And I think Ottawa's progressed and gotten a lot better over the season. Henry Burris is a lot more poised in the pocket, and why wouldn't he be? He looks left, he looks center, he looks right. Chances are he's looking at a 1,000-yard receiver. On top of that, the defense is making big plays when they need to, and they're going to need to make some big plays this Sunday, and one of the big things they're going to need to do is make sure that they're covering Darius Bowman. Such a threat with the Edmonton Eskimos, and making sure that their top receiver is held in check. Because if Darius Bowman is able to receive over 100 yards, the Grey Cup may not be coming back to Ottawa. Special teams is probably the only concern that I have with the REDBLACKS. It's documented, we know they haven't had any big kick return or punt returns for touchdowns this year, but quite frankly, I'm not as much concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is field position. Being able to get the ball into a position where Ottawa's not looking at their own end zone over their shoulder, where they're able to get it out to say the 40-yard line or midfield and be able to start a drive from there. Field position is going to be a huge key and a huge factor in this game. And if Ottawa is able to win the field position game, it'll help them so much in terms of being able to win the overall game. So, the Ottawa REDBLACKS, not there by fluke, not there by some sort of, slight bit of luck. You don't win 12 games in the CFL with luck. I know there's a lot of people who look at the CFL and say, oh, well, there's 9 teams and 6 of them make the playoffs. It's pretty easy to make the playoffs. Really? With all due respect, tell that to Winnipeg, Montreal, and Saskatchewan. It's not easy making the playoffs. And once you do make the playoffs, good luck in staying there. With all due respect, you can ask BC and Toronto about that. Okay, you're in the finals. Now you got to get to the Grey Cup. Again, not as easy as it sounds. These two teams are there because they deserve to be there, and the Ottawa REDBLACKS have had such an amazing turnaround season. So win or lose, you have to be impressed and proud of their accomplishments. What a turnaround for an expansion team in their second season. How do you think Ottawa will do? I'd love to hear from you. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Feel free to reach out to me, as I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for checking out this preview, and that's my view from the 40.